Welcome to another episode of Shooting the Weeds, a show where we shoot the shit on things going on in my life and sometimes the world of professional wrestling. And my lighting, if you're watching the video version of this right now, my lighting is different because I am in the midst of kind of combobulating, reconfiguring my office. I have some furniture behind me, some chairs. My desk got shifted. Like everything is completely different and moved around. So I'm missing a light. I got to put it back up before stream starts. But I sat down with LA Night Girl, who I just found out who that is, and we had a lot of fun talking. I love getting to talk to other girly pops in this space because I don't get to do it very often. And yeah, we had a great conversation. I learned a lot of things about her. I went into it not doing too much research because it was my first time really getting a chance to speak with her in person. So I kind of wanted to learn things for myself as well and pull the hairstylist card and ask questions just kind of as they came to thought. A couple things really quickly. One, if you haven't heard, I am helping host a live watch party in Detroit for Elimination Chamber. If you go to my link tree, if you go to the link in my bio, you can find out where to purchase tickets for that. They are $5 each. It is a private watch party at the B-Dubs downtown. You'll get to be entered into different door prizes. I'll be there. We'll be live streaming from the event, and you get to watch a wrestling event with other wrestling fans. I mean, how often do you really get to do that outside of going to the actual show? Also, currently, if you're looking for more content from me, consider subscribing to my Patreon account. I am releasing multiple different videos a week. I am doing the Monday Night Raw reviews there, the Friday Night SmackDown reviews there, and then I'm doing a match or a few matches a week where I am reacting to them and you get to see the match in full. If you're a Plus member, you get to nominate those, and then all the other members and yourself get to vote on the ones that I actually watch. I'm also doing 2 different series leading up to WrestleMania. I will be dropping every Triple H WrestleMania match, and I will be watching some Michelle McCool matches as well. So if you want to get on that, go ahead and find my Patreon account. I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Bri. I had a lot of fun speaking with her, and definitely show her all the support in the world because I think she deserves it. I have here with me LA Night Girl. You would know her as LA Night Girl on the internet. If you have TikTok, Instagram, I'm sure you have seen her. I have to tell you, so when we were both at Royal Rumble in Indianapolis this year, and I was down by the Superstore. I was walking around where all the meet and greet areas were. And I hate to admit this, but I don't scroll on the internet very often anymore, like on TikTok or Instagram or anything. And we were over in the meet and greet area, and someone behind me goes, "Oh my gosh!" They were like, "LA Night Girl's here. Did you see that? LA Night Girl was over here, and LA Night brought her up, and all of this." And I was like, "Who's LA Night Girl?" And he looked at me like I had 5 heads, and I'm so sorry. I'm like, I don't know. So that night, you showed up on my algorithm like instantly.
That's crazy.
And there you were. I said, "Oh, now I know." And I went down the rabbit hole of finding out who LA Night Girl was. So, hi, welcome. How did you like Royal Rumble in Indianapolis first? Because I'm from Indiana. So did you have a good time while you were there?
I did. Everyone there was so sweet. It was pure chaos, more than I had thought it would be, but like in the best way possible. I loved it.
Every event I feel is chaos. We'll talk about that because I know you've been to a lot of events for sure. So tell me. You're LA Night Girl, but your real name is Bri, correct?
Yes.
In your words, who is LA Night Girl? How did LA Night Girl start? What was the first moment where you were dubbed as LA Night Girl on the internet? How did this come to be?
It was completely accidental. Very much like LA Knight, an overnight like success story kind of in the wrestling community. What had happened was I have been a huge LA Knight fan since he was Eli Drake in TNA. I just have never had the opportunity to meet him. So I found out I was going to WrestleMania, I think 2 weeks before the actual show, and they were having WWE World. And ironically, they had added LA, I think the week before, like extremely last minute. So I had bought a ticket to go meet him. And I met him at the photo ops. I was sobbing my eyes out. He was so sweet, so kind. And then after photo ops at WWE World, they have like a panel stage. And as soon as we had gone over to the panel stage and he had come out, Byron Saxton, who was hosting it, had noticed that I was still crying my eyes out in the front row of the panel stage. So when he had pointed that out, LA was like, "She's like making me cry inside. Like, should I go down and hug her?" And of course, the crowd, I love wrestling fans, they're chanting, they're like, hug her, like, she loves you. Like, it literally was just pure chaos in like a 1 minute span. So this man, I fully blacked out. I just remember him jumping off of the stage, being in front of me, like staring into my soul. And in one point in the video, I literally turned to run away from him.
Oh
And
my
then I literally, there was a split second where I was like, he's right there. Like, oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps telling the story again. I was like, I'm going to run away from him. So good thing I didn't. And he hugged me. The whole crowd loved it. The whole crowd was so sweet. So I go on TikTok. I think I had 2 TikTok posts prior. I had no intention of blowing up, no intention of ever like falling into like the content creation world. I had just posted the video of him hugging me and it blew up instantly. And someone had commented, they were like, she is now known as the LA Night Girl. And it blew up like crazy. And that's why I got the name.
That's amazing. Now that you mention it, I do remember that. I do remember that video. So that was you. Okay.
A lot of people don't know that.
No, yeah, but I do remember that happening. That's so crazy. So what event did you said that was at Mania?
Yeah, so WWE World. It was the
WWE World. Okay.
Monday after Mania. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it was
crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy how it all happened. It like was like perfectly timed, if that makes sense. Like it was like kind of like almost like made to be. Like how they added him and like how I ironically, because I was by myself, how I ironically was like front row, like right in like the direct line of sight for him to like see me cry. And then like I think a lot of people fell in love with that moment because he broke kayfabe almost. Because like I feel like when they do these panels, like they're supposed to be like how they are on like television. So when they saw that he like made the effort to jump off the stage and like hug this girl that was crying her eyes out, like it made more people fall in love with him.
People like seeing the humanity behind some of them, especially someone like LA Knight that is very true to his character. I mean, always on the T. So getting to see, I feel like, a behind the scenes side of him on in any of those events is kind of a rare ordeal. So it's like all of the things perfectly lined up for that to happen. How many times have you met him since then? How many times have you seen him since? Because it's always at meet and greets, correct?
Yeah, well, technically I was supposed to have met him 7 times, but it's now 8 because he brought me backstage at Rumble, which
Cool.
I think I can say that now because it's over. But he brought me backstage, so which is why I got 2 pictures with him that day. So yeah, he did bring me backstage, and it was very nice of him. Okay, like literally, I just remember it's so weird because I'm fine with the rest of the superstars, but when it comes to LA, I literally freak out. Like there was one point where he was wearing the brown jacket and he like went to go pull the curtain to like put it down on the table and like catering. And literally it was Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax, and then Pretty Deadly right there. And I was so calm. I was just like, hey. And like Tiffany was so cute. She's like, hey. And like I was so calm. And I was like, it's not them that I'm nervous about. I'm like, it's LA that I'm like freaking out about.
Right.
Like,
You have one person that you're really, honed in on, and that's the one.
Yeah. I say it all the time. I have the worst tunnel vision when it comes to that man. Like literally 20,000 things could be happening, but like if LA Knight is in front of me, like that's all I'm focusing on. Like it's insane.
So you said you've been a fan of him since he was in Impact when he was Eli Drake?
Yeah, 2016.
Okay. Can I ask what is there something particular about him, his character being a wrestler that really has drawn you to him the most? Like why is he your favorite wrestler?
He reminds me of myself, my sense of humor, like his just dry sense of humor and how he just does not care about like anyone or anything. Because I think the segment that I watched that I like fell in love with him was Fact of Life when he had the dummy button and he just
yep.
I think that is what I was like. I love like his sense of humor. Like it just reminds me so much of myself.
It stands out. It definitely stands out. Were you at Detroit SummerSlam in 23?
I wasn't. No.
That was one that I really, because that was the first exposure of me. He was really just starting to really blow up in WWE, and everyone everywhere. You couldn't go anywhere without people chanting, yeah. You'd be sitting in the middle of a restaurant downtown Detroit and just people be like, yeah. You'd be in the line getting ready to go in. It was just really, really prevalent at that time, and getting to see him get that pop there was really cool for me, even though the event itself was what it was. But how many events overall have you been to? Let's just keep it WWE, because if there's more than that, just how many WWE events have you been to?
I've been going since I was in, like, elementary school, so honestly, I don't know. Not to sound like that person that's like, "I don't know how many I've been to," but, like,
Oh, that's fine.
I genuinely don't know.
If it's that, if you've been going since you were a kid and whoever
Yeah,
is taking you, how did you become a fan?
my brothers, so it's funny, they have been obsessed with it since they were younger. Wrestling has been in my family since, like, before I was even born, like, my parents were into it, my brothers were into it. So one night, they were watching WrestleMania 27 in the living room, and I was with them, just hanging out, and John Cena versus The Miz was the main event of that one,
Yep.
and as soon as John Cena had come out, I legit fell in love with him, and it just went from there.
I love that. I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. So you're a Cena fan as well?
Yeah, I'm an
Okay.
OG Cena fan. He was the first.
I love that. I love that because at that time, I mean, not a lot of people were.
No.
That wasn't
No.
that wasn't a shared sentiment. How old would you have been at the time?
Think I was 9.
Okay, so yeah, you were one of the Cena kids. You were the target audience.
Yeah, I had his poster and everything.
I love that so
Yeah.
much. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Was Philadelphia your first WrestleMania, or had you been to a WrestleMania before?
No, that was my first one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's the
definitely
what's the feeling of a first WrestleMania? Because I've never been.
emotional. Like, I just remember it didn't hit me until I had got to my seat and I just felt the crowd and they had, like, the flashing lights and, Pat McAfee's making his entrance, and it just hit me that I was like, "Holy," I'm like, "I'm actually at WrestleMania." Because, like, not a lot of people get to be able to go, and I was very fortunate to be able to put together, like, a 2-week trip to
Oh my
Mania,
gosh.
and yeah, it was just very, very emotional for me. I just vividly remember, like, trying to hold it together and, like, not cry before the show started.
The question just popped in my mind, and then I wanted to backtrack and be like, okay, it probably explains itself because I'm a wrestling crier. I am on stream and it can be something that no one else will understand, and I am crying. There's too many for me to even think about her name, and my chat will just blow up of, why are you crying? This isn't a sad thing. What is sad about this? This isn't sad. And it's just crying isn't always sadness. It's
No.
emotion. You can feel emotions,
Yeah.
and they'll roll into equating that to, oh well, of course you're a girl. Like, of course you're crying because you're emotional and you're a girl. What has your experience been being a woman, a girly on the internet that likes wrestling? Because we are outnumbered majority of the time.
There have been times where I have gotten a lot of hate and, like, I don't even know. I try to silence it out because I'm very fortunate to have male followers that are very kind and very understanding because I do cry a lot as well, especially when it comes to LA Knight. Like, it's insane how many times I've seen him and I'll still cry, even if I don't meet him. So there's people that, like, understand it and they, like, bully me out of love. Like, they'll, like, joke with me and be like, "Oh, she's crying over LA Knight again." But yeah, no, there unfortunately are nasty people out there that can be very mean, especially in the male dominated industry that we're trying to, like, be in. Um, yeah, I don't I try not to entertain it. I kinda, like, silence it out.
I try to as well. It's really hard to sometimes because I don't you just it's in your face, and i- at the beginning it's not that much, and then depending on what direction you take and what you end up doing, the more you put yourself out there, the more you open yourself up to it. So I mean, gosh, it there are moments where it just seems like it's never ending, and you want to just stop interacting with everyone in general because then you don't have to see that part of it, but then you're shutting off the good parts, and the good parts are the majority, I would say. um, like, for example, not only on the internet, but getting to go to Royal Rumble and meeting all the people that were there. How does it feel to go to the Royal Rumble and get to meet a bunch of people that know who you are and like who you are and want to take pictures with you? Is that surreal? How has that experience been? And
I actually had a little girl cry when she met me. Yeah, I felt bad because I feel like my reaction was like, "Oh my god, like, who's here?" So what did, like, a superstar just, like, walk by? I was in the merch line at SmackDown, and this, like, group of 3 girls, young girls, had come up to me with their mom and their dad, and one of them, she was like a light, just, like, saw me and, like, broke down crying. She's like, "Oh my god, I've been looking for you everywhere. Like, I finally found you." Because I never make, like, designated like meetup places. I don't know if people do that, but I've never done
I
that.
don't for safety reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, I never do that. So she was so happy that she had like finally found me, and she was kind of like staring at me as if I wasn't real. It was so cute. She was just like, like looking at me, and I was like, "Hi." I was like, "What are your names?" Like, "It's so nice to meet you." And she literally hugged me and like would not let go. Like, I just remember like holding on to her and being like, "It's okay. Like, I'm just a person." I'm like, "It's okay." She was so sweet. But yeah, it's amazing to see, especially like young girls and like a few like men like and boys have like come up to me and been like, "I love your content." So it means a lot. It's so cute of them.
It
I
really is. It
Yeah.
makes it, it just puts it all into perspective, and it's so my favorite. They're my favorites to me are little girls and younger boys, and I get to see because same thing. I guess you don't. Like you said, you're just a person, and I just do this thing. Like I'm just a girl. I always tell people I'm just a girl with a camera, and I like to talk and I do stuff. So to be face to face with it, and then see a younger girl with their dad that's taking them to the show and their dad that's taking them to the superstore because that I was raised by just my dad really, and I it hits me somewhere where I'm walking around in a daze afterwards because it's just it means a lot. Like it just means a lot as a regular person to have other regular people support what you do and say that they like what you do.
It means so much more when the parents thank you too. I've gotten a few parents that have thanked me and they're like, "Thank you for being like such like a good like role model for her. Like she feels more comfortable like being a wrestling fan. Like she used to be like bullied in school, but now she like doesn't care because of people like you." And I'm like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "Who could bully this sweet person? Like, are you kidding me?"
Kids are mean. Kids are
Yeah.
mean. Did you have to deal with any bullying or anything of as far as, not even just in general, I think we all did, but as specifically being a wrestling fan?
Oh yeah, absolutely, especially in school.
Yeah.
I just don't care what people think. I don't.
I love that.
I've always been like that. I just don't care.
That's
Like I
that's
need you. Like it's okay. You can have you're never gonna change someone's opinion on you if they're that like set on it. Sure, I have people that used to bully me that now message me and are like, "Hey girl, like so proud of you. Keep it up." But like,
ain't that the truth.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't care. Like
No. And that's always the people that don't care that I think are able to do that and put themselves out there. And that is, I think, for you, especially that's being a very, very good role model. And there needs to be more of them as time is going on because you don't get to, people care a lot about what other people think. They care a lot about it. And it just, in the broad scheme of things, it just doesn't matter all that much. I'm 32 years old. I get made fun of all the time for what I do. And I'm told that I am cringe and I am all these things. And it's just kind of, all right,
like who cares?
that's supposed to bother me. I don't
Like
the
congrats.
perception
Like,
of that is so wild to me. I can't believe they'll be like, how do you do this? I don't know. I just do.
yeah. I
Right.
don't know what people gain from hating. I don't. I'll never understand that.
Me either. I always tell myself that it's just something in themselves that makes them feel better
Mhm.
to project. It's always projecting. It's like they're projecting their own insecurities on somebody else and they never have a profile picture and it's never,
Mm.
you never actually know who the hell it is. It's just
Yeah.
some guy,
Some
just
person.
some guy on the internet. Usually,
Yeah.
how has your family and friends reacted to your kind of newfound moniker, your name, LA Night Girl, and being on the internet and making TikToks and reels and content? How did they react to that?
My friends are so proud. They eat it up. They love it. They're so supportive. They're like, "Let me get like a picture of you." They're like, "Oh my God, like how's it going with LA?" Like they're so supportive. My family, like my mom and my sister who are also wrestling fans and travel with me, they're still adapting to it. I think none of us really knew how big it was until Rumble weekend. Cause like sure, like people at like I had gone to Fanatics Fest last year for him and people had like recognized me, but as soon as LA had called me out in that line and people put two and two together that like, oh, it's LA Night and the LA Night Girl here together, it was insane. Like I had walked into the superstore the second day and I literally got swarmed because there was like a line for the superstore and like people had noticed I had walked in. I got swarmed to the point where I had lost my mom and my sister. And I was like, I was like, "Hi, nice to meet you." But like, I don't know where my mom and my sister just went. So like, yeah, they're still trying to like adapt to it, but they're definitely proud.
Two things. The video of all of the other wrestling fans in that line so quickly Say, she's back here.
About 10 feet.
She can come right up. She can cut me in line. That's fine. LA Night Girl's back here. They wanted him to know immediately. Here she is. That was so heartwarming to me. I love that. I love that so much because wrestling, that's the thing about you. I live in a smaller town and no one knows what I do. I rarely ever get recognized. I can go anywhere. No big deal. When I go to any wrestling event, like a Royal Rumble or a Monday Night Raw, a SmackDown, it's a little overwhelming, but it's not overwhelming. I'm getting used to it. The amount of people that know who you are and come up to you and say hello, it really puts it into perspective of, oh yeah, I do this. When my husband is with me, he's still getting used to it. He's a very quiet man. Taking him to WrestleCon and Rumble, he like laughs. Or he'll point out, I think that person knew who you were, but they didn't want to say anything. Like he'll clock it.
Yes.
That are pointing you out.
Yeah.
Like, well, they either can stop me or they can't. Like it's okay.
I had 2 moments like that at Fanatics Fest that my sister clocked. So there was one guy, we were like waiting in line for like the superstars to like come off the stage and like just say hi to them. There was one guy that I don't think he knew I knew. He had his phone and was like filming me. And I was like, I not that I mind. It's just like, just say hi.
I'm
like,
the same way.
Okay. It's okay. Like, you don't have to like be like, oh my God, it's LA Night Girl. Just come up to me. It's okay. And then there was another instance at Fanatics Fest where this girl and her mom in front of me, she was younger, so she was sweet. She had my TikTok on her like phone.
Oh
and
my God.
She kept turning around being like,
she's checking.
Like putting 2 and 2 together. She was like, is that actually her? And then I turned to my sister and I was like, are you seeing what I'm seeing right now? And she's like, yep. And I was like, do I like tell her it's me or do I like let her figure it out? And she figured it out. And her mom was like, can we get like a picture with you? And I was like, yes.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so funny. Do you feel like the growth of your platforms has been quick? It's been like a year?
It's been really quick. I've gotten a few comments and like DMs from people that are like, I don't think we've ever seen a grow happen this quick in the community, which I don't know if that's true. Someone fact check that. But yeah, it's
what you do.
Especially like after Rumble week is really, I think I jumped from like 5,000 followers on Instagram to almost I'm at 8,000 maybe. And then TikTok, I went from 35 to like 37K. And I was like, whoa, those are big numbers.
It is. It's surreal. It's weird to get used to. Do you have any particular goals when it comes to that? Because some people just like to make stuff and there's no goal and that's totally fine. Is being a content creator something you want to do? Is working in wrestling in some way something you want to do? Or are you just filming what you're doing and being a fan?
Yeah, I have 2 end goals / dreams that I'm trying to do. So one obviously is become a professional wrestler. That is the dream. Yes, that. And wait, I have
hold on, really?
a story that goes with this. Yes.
Okay.
You're going to get the inside scoop because I have not told this to anyone. I have not posted anything. I've been waiting for the right time. So when I had met LA Knight at his autographs at Rumble Week, I had let him know. I was like, listen, I'm training to be a professional wrestler soon. When, I don't know. Schedule's busy. We have Mania coming up. I was like, I don't know when, but I was like, would it be okay if you kind of pass down the BFT to me to use as my finisher? And oh my God, he looked at me and he was like, you're training to be a wrestler? I was like, yes. He's like, how old are you? I'm like, I'm 21. And he's like, okay. He's like, yeah. He's like, that works. And he was like, as for like the BFT, he's like, you can do whatever you want. He's like, if you want to use it, he's like, you use it. He's like, you make me proud. He's like, you use it. However, and he was so confident, which I loved. He's like, when you come up here, like referring to WWE, he's like, when you make it to WWE, he's like, I'll probably be long gone. He's like, you may have to find something different. He's like, but as for training and like doing professional wrestling, he's like, you can do whatever you want. He's like, you use whatever move you want of mine. He's like, go ahead. So that was really cool.
I love that so much. Oh, that's such a good interaction. When did you decide that?
Oh my God. 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because first I was going to do acting. I've always been like a big like musical theater kid in like high school, but like acting, it was like perfectly timed. It just like wasn't for me. So I've always wanted, I feel like everyone when they're a kid kind of wants to be a professional wrestler, but like no one really like thinks to do it like when they grow up. So I've always still had that in me and it's only gotten like stronger and like I want it more and more every day. So I think it's just perfect. Like that's all I can see myself as.
I love that so much. I love that so much. You know, that's one thing I love about a lot of people that are younger than me that I meet now is when because I was a musical theater kid too. I so badly wanted to go to school for theater. I wanted to be a professional wrestler. I wanted to do all those things. And it was just something that was not at all supported or seen as something that was realistic in any capacity. So I didn't do it. I put my nose down and I went and did what everybody else wanted me to do. And so when I meet anyone that wants to be a professional, any dream that they have, I'm immediately like, do that.
Yeah.
Try it. Live your life, do your thing, because I was told way too many times, oh, well, you know, that's going to be hard and it's going to be like this and you're not going to be able to do this. And how long is that going to take? And it's just like every dream I ever had was negativity, negativity, negativity. So you go be a professional wrestler. Like, that's amazing. I think that's so awesome.
Yeah. And to have his blessing to be like, you can use whatever move you want of mine, just like made it like, okay, like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. Now
Absolutely.
I have to like, my biggest thing has always been like making him proud. And I'm like, okay, now I have to do it. Now I have to like make him proud. Like it's a done deal. Like I have to.
I have no doubt that I think you will make him proud tenfold. And the fact that he was willing to do that. And
oh my God. And then speaking of making him proud, the second dream and goal that I have not shut up about has been being able to interview him or like host like his panel at WWE World. I have been so adamant about this and I hope it comes true one day, but that's like the second dream and he knows, he's aware of it. He's like, okay. He's like, we'll see what we can do.
Okay. He's been told. I don't see why not. I don't see why not at all.
I was talking to fanatics in LA at Rumble and I was like, guys, I'm like, there's no better place than WWE World where it all came full circle. I'm like, hello, I'll be there.
Where it started.
Yes, because originally it's been in the works for almost a year because Fanatics Fest is where it originally was possibly going to happen, but his schedule was so jam-packed. Like he had photo ops and then autographs and then like he was on the stage doing signings. So we couldn't fit it in there, but we got very close to it. So it's kind of carrying over into WWE World, which is kind of a blessing in disguise because what better place to have it than where it all started, you know?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So last I knew, a phone call was made and LA's aware about it. So let's see what happens if they get me on that stage. The message could come in right now and I would probably drop to the floor. I'm like, I just need it okayed. But like a phone call was made, so now, and he's aware, so all I have to do is just wait. Let me wait it out.
Have you done any interviews before? Have you done any interviewing?
No, I've been, like, Fanatics has interviewed me, but I've never, no. That's why it'd be so, like, authentic and, like, chaotic in the best way possible, especially when you get LA and I together now. It's just, like, chaotic.
Buzzing because you're around LA Night and you're in your element doing this thing. I think it'd be great.
I think it'd be top tier.
Real, authentic.
Yeah. Also, it gives fans hope that like they can have a relationship like that with like their favorite superstar, which I love to see comments like that where it's like, I hope one day to be like with Damian Priest, how Bri is with LA. Like I love seeing comments like that.
So absolutely. And showing that it's okay to be a fan and you can be a fan without being a jerk or, you know, there's nothing wrong with being a fan.
No.
It's okay to like what people do and support what people do and to see someone like LA Knight or any of them appreciate, you know, the support that a fan gives is just WWE is not just I guess WWE, but professional wrestling in general. It's the one sport I feel that gets it when it comes to their audience and fans because they interact with them, they make things and they take into consideration what they would like to see as far as like content goes. And not a lot of places do that. I think it was Fanatics Fest where they said WWE was the only one that completely sold out all of their signings.
Yeah.
And that speaks volumes because they really do care about their audience, their universe per se. The NFL, as much as I love the NFL and NBA and all the other sports things, it's not so much. They don't interact with the fans. The fans just show up.
They don't got an LA Night girl.
They're not really. They're not involved at all. No, not one bit. Going to Mania?
Yeah, and then all 5 days of WWE World.
Oh, cool.
Where I'm getting the LA tattoo, so.
Oh my gosh. Oh, are you really?
Yes, promised him I get it before I met him. So I was like, okay. Not the signature. Absolutely not. I was like, LA, I'm not getting that as my first tattoo. And he didn't know it was my first tattoo. So it was funny. What happened was he was on the Fanatic stage and like I was side stage because they had me waiting to go backstage with him. And I was speaking to his security and I was like, is he aware that like this is my first tattoo? I'm like, why is it huge? And they were like, no, I don't think so. So we had gone backstage and I had told him, I was like, I kind of still want my finger tattoos, LA. I'm like, this is huge. And he's like, all right, he's like, what do you want me to sign? I was like, can you do dummy and yeah? And he's like, sure. And he's like, you were so eager to get the tattoo. I had thought you had one already. He's like, I didn't know that was your first one. I was like, yes. I was like, I'm not getting that. So he did. He wrote dummy and yeah on pieces of paper so I can get them on my fingers. So I'll do that at WWE World. Because they have like a little tattoo thing I found out. I did not know that.
I think I had seen it last year because somebody had gotten one. I forget. Yeah, it was Rhea Ripley. Yeah. I didn't know either. I just was, who are the artists? Who decided?
Yeah, like where was this? I didn't see it last year. I was only there for a day, but like I didn't see it.
Is Mania the next event that you're going to, or do you have anything between now and then?
I think the SmackDown before Mania, but yeah, Mania is like confirmed. Like tickets are purchased. Cool. Bri Mania, yeah, as I call it. As my followers call it, Bri Mania. Year 2.
Do you have merch?
No, I, however, was going to do, so someone that follows me made me an LA Night Girl shirt. And so I was going to make a Bri Mania shirt this year to kind of like carry on the like tradition of like custom shirts that have been made for me. So I made you like a Bri Mania shirt for myself. I don't think anyone would want it. I mean, I'll do it for free outside the stadium. I'll be like, you guys want a Bri Mania shirt? Have at it. But
I feel like people say that and then you release the shirt and people are, I want that. Like audiences of authentic people that they really enjoy. And obviously you have one. You have an audience that really enjoys you and supports you. I feel like they would want it. If you want to give them away for free, fine. But make it. Well, Bri, it's been really nice talking to you today. I just have one last question before we say goodbye. What would you say to other girls that are fans of professional wrestling out there that might be afraid to openly like what they like or are worried about what other people think? What advice would you give to them?
I know it's easier said than done, but once you stop caring what people think about you, you're going to love posting, you're going to love going to events, you're going to be loud and proud about what you love. That was my big thing in the beginning was, and it still creeps up on me sometimes, is, you know, haters, people saying like, oh, this is cringe, you're weird, you're obsessive, you're a stalker, like da 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 da. Just tune it out. Just tune it out. Who cares? All that matters is the support system you have around you, which I'm very fortunate to have a good one. All that, everyone in your life knows who you are. It's okay to post what you want to post. It's your page. It's not anyone else's. If they don't like it, they can scroll, block, whatever. Just keep doing you. Just be yourself. Like, just be authentic.
Hey, Bri, where can people find you? Do you have any other projects coming up? Just plug your socials. Let the people know where they can find you.
Well, my main one's TikTok. You can find me there. Literally just type in LA Night Girl, or you can find me at my name, which is Brianna, and then period Duart. And then Instagram is the only other one I have, which is Brianna, extra A in the middle, and then Duart. You can find me there. As for projects, WWE World, I'll be there all 5 days. WrestleMania, I'll be there both nights. And then hopefully they'll get me on that panel stage for an interview with LA. Some point I'll
get on it, LA. Get on it, WWE. Get the girl where she wants to go. All right, Bri, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.